All right, what's going on, everyone? So the core set Planeswalker decks are out, or they're not out. Well, they might be out by the time you see this, but they've been announced, and we have the deck lists, and I kind of wanted to look over them because there's some interesting things. First off, as we're looking through these, keep in mind that the way the Gatherer works, you're gonna see these fancy versions like this one. I don't think you're actually getting these. I think the only fancy thing you're getting is you're getting these showcase lands. You're getting one per deck. But as I look through these, you might see these fancy borders, and those are just the way the Magic their website works. It just pulls the image from the Gatherer, and it's like whatever the newest one is or whatever. So there's another card that's like full art somewhere. I think it was this one. Yeah, I don't think you're getting full art of this. But I wanted to look over these decks because it's actually pretty cool. So first off, these aren't just built around Core 2021. If we look through these, like here, we have an Ikoria card. And I think the black one is the most interesting because we have Theros, Ikoria. There's an M21, and I believe there's some more. Yeah, there's another Ikoria card here. So there's a lot of Ikoria and Theros cards. And they're not, there's no Guilds of Ravnica, it's just Eldraine forward. I know one of these has some Eldraine cards. I think this one does. Let's see. Yes, there's an Eldraine card. So yeah, we're getting Eldraine forward cards. So they're not putting rotating cards in, but they are putting cards from other sets. And I actually think that's pretty important. Let me show you something here. So this is Core 2021, right? And the problem with trying to build a deck with only Core 2021 cards is like if we look at white, for example, there's not really that many white cards, right? We start here, we end down here. There's not that many cards, so it's really hard to build a deck with any kind of cohesion. So pulling from older sets, even though, you know, it's a Core 2021 deck with Eldraine cards in it, but that does allow the decks to be much more cohesive, and they're able to pull more power from older sets, and that's pretty good. So I'm not that upset about that. I actually think it'll make the decks better. And another thing, if you remember the last core sets, I made a video about how the decks had been massively improved. There was none of the filler cards, right? And unfortunately, that only lasted for one set because the Theros and Eldraine decks did have more of that filler crap. And if we take like a quick look, if we just look at the text box as I scroll through these, and you're gonna notice that all of these cards do things, right? There's no junk. There's none of those like 2 mana, 2/1s with no abilities, or 3 mana, 2 3s with no abilities. Everything here actually does something, so that's pretty important. That means that you're not getting as much of that just absolute filler crap that's only meant for draft, right? Those 2 mana 3/1s are only supposed to be there for draft. You don't want to be playing those in constructed decks. And if we look through these, if we keep looking through all of these cards, they do stuff. They're not just junk. There's no junk, and that's pretty useful. That means that the cards are going to be more powerful in general, and that's pretty good. So I think these are back to the Core 2020 power level, which is nice. It's just nice not to have all those terrible filler cards that are there for no reason. It does technically make my job as someone who upgrades these a little bit more difficult because I can't just look at those, you know, terrible junk cards and say, all right, well, this is an easy upgrade. Upgrading these is going to be more tuning them, but overall, I think it is better. Now, there are still problems though. Like, take the Chandra deck, for example. All of these cards, most of these cards, not all of them, I don't think this one really cares. This is the tutor card for the Planeswalker. But if we look through these cards, pretty much all of them are spell payoffs. Like, this will deal damage, this gets a counter, this has prowess, this gets +1/+0 on double strike, but it only does it when we do non-combat damage, so that one's a little bit more specific. This one gets a counter. We have all these payoffs, right, for playing spells, but there's only 11 spells. So that's the problem with this deck. So I think like upgrading this, for example, we're not going to have any like strictly better upgrades. I mean, there are plenty of strictly better upgrades for this. Like, I would rather play Bone Crusher Giant than this. But for the most part, we just need to fix these because they're really tuned weird. 11 spells in a deck that has all this stuff that cares about spells is kind of weird. So we're probably going to be like taking out the worst spells matter cards, like maybe this. This one's weird because it cares specifically about non-combat damage, and like a lot of these don't even deal, like you put that in a burn deck, right? Not really like a deck with Sure Strike and Unleash Fury and stuff like that. Doesn't really make sense. So we'll probably be cutting stuff like this for more spells. I think there's a spell from M21. I forget what it's called. I guess I can just look it up here. I have it. The thing that it's a spell that puts tokens into play that have prowess. This one right here. This would probably be pretty good for this deck because it's a spell, so playing it will trigger all of these, right? But then it gives us creatures that have prowess that will in turn get powered up by more spell slinging. So this makes more sense in this deck than some of this other stuff. Like some of these spells are terrible. But yeah, that's like my first thought. Same thing with Stormcrawler. This doesn't really do anything for this deck. It's not a payoff for playing spells, and it doesn't like trigger all of our other stuff. So it's like, it's not a bad card really. It's just not really what this deck wants to do. Bone Crusher Giant makes more sense because the spell portion of it will count as a spell for all of this stuff, and it's a big threat. So yeah, there's some optimizations we could do. Same thing with like this white deck. For some reason it has a Speaker of the Heavens as one of its rares. Again, you won't get the full art version. This is just what the Gatherer is showing, but it's really weird because this isn't life gain deck. Looking through this, there's almost no life gain. In theory, you could get this turn 1, you could put a bunch of counters on it. Maybe you could play this this Avon thing and get a bunch of life, and maybe then you can start producing tokens, but it's like, it's very unlikely. Plus you only have 1, so because you only have 1, you're much more likely to draw in the late game. So it's like, there's some iffiness, there's some things that need worked on. I think this is a good card. This would be pretty okay in like a life gain deck. It's just that none of this really gains life. There's like 3 cards in this that gain life. This one does, but only if it has a counter. This one does, but we need a ton of creatures, and it doesn't come out until turn 5, which kind of defeats the purpose of this, because you really want to start producing these tokens on like turn 3 or 4, preferably. I thought there was another lifelink card. There might be, I don't know. Oh, there we go. This technically has lifelink, but there's not enough. There's nowhere near enough lifelink for this to be relevant in this deck. So yeah, there's some little optimization things. This also has the same problem as the Chandra deck. It has way too many payoffs for drawing cards, but not enough ways to actually draw cards. So I would definitely be doing upgrade guides for these. I'll definitely be fixing them. I think they're much better than the average Planeswalker deck. They just need to be optimized and tuned a little bit, just to make a little bit more sense. But overall, I think they're much more powerful than you even get like a Stormwing entity, by the way. This is really cool. 5 mana 3/3 gets cost 3 less if you've cast a spell, so it's a 2 mana 3/3 flying prowess. You scry 2 when it comes into play. This card's really good. This has been seeing constructed play. Oh, by the way, again, you won't get the full art version, but this has been seeing constructed play a little bit. It's still early in the format. I mean, as I'm recording this, Core 2021 has been on Arena for like 4 or 5 days, 6 days, something like that, less than a week. If this card has been seeing play, we'll see if it survives, you know, the first few weeks of testing and whatnot. But that's pretty cool that you're getting a constructed playable, like kind of competitive card in a Planeswalker deck. Liliana's deck does have some pretty cool stuff. You know, it has Liliana Standard Bearer, which is looking like a pretty good card. You also got Spirit of Malevolence, which I also think is pretty cool. So yeah, I think the decks are pretty decent. Definitely better than your average Planeswalker deck. And it's pretty cool that they drew from older sets just to kind of power them up a bit instead of forcing themselves to, you know, like if you're building a red deck, instead of forcing yourself to build from literally this little set of cards. And you remember, you can't use the rares or mythics. They only have like 2 rares per Planeswalker deck or whatever. I believe you can do is common. Does that work? That doesn't work. Rarity common. Does that work? Yeah. So if you're building a Planeswalker deck, mostly you would be using from here to here for a mono white deck. And that's just not really enough cards to make something that makes sense. Getting this Fairy Vandal from Eldraine and the draw cards deck makes that a lot more powerful. That's like the kind of upgrade I would make. Like if they're using only cards from here, like what would they put? They'd put like, I don't know, something. They'd put like this in, right? This is the type of card that typically is in these Planeswalker decks. They'd put this Wishcoin Crab. I'd be like, why would you play that? Why would you not play Fairy Vandal to draw cards deck? If you're drawing cards, you don't want a 2/5 with no abilities. Or they'd put this in, right? Like it scries. It doesn't draw, but it scries. They'd put something like this in, and I'd be like, guys, no, put Fairy Vandal in. So the fact that they did that already is pretty cool. So I'm pretty happy with these. I think they're pretty cool. I think they're pretty good. Again, within the realm of Planeswalker decks. They are, you know, they're Planeswalker decks. They're not Challenger decks. If you want powerful decks, go with the Challenger decks. But overall, they're better than average. They're better than the average Planeswalker deck because there's just none of that filler, which is nice. So there you go, guys. I just wanted to talk about those, wanted to mention them, and I wanted to reassure you that I will definitely be doing upgrade guides on these. They will probably start coming out like a week or 2 after the set releases. Now that we have the list, I can start working on these, and I will also kind of wait and see how the prices shake out, because like for example, if we go to white, Where is it? Oh yeah, I'm still in commons. Hang on. If we go to white, where is it? Where is it? Why can't I find Baneslayer Angel? This could be a really good card. It could be a great replacement for like what was it? There was a big like this. Right, we have Avon Gaggle Master, 5 mana 4/3 flyer, gains 2 life for each creature, but you need at least 3 creatures to gain 6 life, whereas with Baneslayer Angel, not only is it a 5 mana 5/5 with all of these abilities, but one of those abilities is lifelink, so you get to gain 5 life every single turn. This is an amazing improvement. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to use it. Right now it's $3. $3 is fine, but this is the type of card that I have to wait on, right? Like I would love to add Angel to the deck, but this is a new card, it's a new printing, we don't know what the price is going to be. If this drops down to like $1.50, I will definitely use it. If it drops down to like $2, maybe I'll still use it. But that's the type of thing I have to wait for. If you guys ever wondered like why does it take 2 or 3 weeks, it's because I like to wait to see if I can add this. I'd love to add this to the deck. I just have to wait to see what the price is going to be. So that's why it usually takes like 2 weeks for me to get these videos done. It's because there's a lot of me just like monitoring the prices of cards like this and just, you know, like sitting here like, what price is it now? Is it less? No, it's obviously still the same, but yeah, that's what I do basically. I'm just waiting for cards like this to see what the prices are after the first week or two to see if they're usable for me. So yeah, it'll take a week or two, but they'll be coming very soon. So yeah, there you go, guys. I just wanted to mention those, and I'll look forward to those upgrade guides. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you in the next one.